Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I have got a story to tell you about a crazy situation that happened to us and how the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus saved us thousands of dollars. And let me tell you, if I did not have video proof of this, I probably wouldn't believe the story either. As y'all know, we process a lot of our own meats and have them in this freezer at our daycare building. As y'all can see, there's thousands of dollars worth of pork, at least a couple of thousand, whenever you figure the weight and the cost that we actually sell it for. And crazy situation was Kimberly had to come up here the other day. We try to check on things because we're not here every day, but we try to come a few times a week just to make sure everything's going on. She had to grab some things while she was checking, and she sends me a text. She's like, "Hey, there's no power at the gym part of the building." I was like, "What?" So the first thing that comes to mind is I'm like, "Oh no, either a main breaker is messed up, somebody's vandalized something that caused a short or something like that." And then I get to thinking, I was like, oh no, the freezers are on that same system. So I'm at work, she's on her lunch break, she has to go back to work. I get over here as soon as I can and start trying to check things out. I get back, I'm like, I don't know what's happened. I can't find anything that's out of place, anything that's wrong. So then I go out to where the meter is and check the main breaker. It's still on, and I get to looking, and it looks like the breaker digital LCD is just blank. So then I go to our other meter to check to make sure it's not just the way it's made. And no, I can see numbers and stuff on it. So I'm like, yeah, something is majorly wrong. So I send a notice to the power company to let them know that we're without power, that the meter's out. And then I get to looking at the cameras because I'm like, what caused our meter to go out? And then that's when I couldn't believe my eyes. Here's the footage from that. I pull up the cameras. I find the spot where the power went off on the camera system to see which it was. They're on a different meter than the other, so it was just a short little segment before it switched over. And then that's when I see the power company is actually on our property the previous day. I'm like, what in the world has happened? And so then I get to looking, and I pull up an inside camera because we have emergency exit lights where the lights come on when they lose power. So I'm watching, I see the truck bucket or the truck lift up its bucket and kind of shake around, and then here come on the lights. So I'm like, okay, the power company did something that caused this short. And then I get to thinking, oh no, what if we had a short in the freezer whenever that happened and they tear it up? So then I get to think about the great features of the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus, and that's when I remember it's got surge protection, so it protects for up to 2,000 volt power surges, which prevents fires and short circuits. So I'm like, okay, we're safe on that instance, or we should be, because the Jackery should have took the brunt of the force on that. And the other great thing I was like is we got the UPS, and so the freezer actually never lost power during any of this because the Jackery took care of it. And then I get to thinking that we've got up to 14 days of power supply with it, so even if it takes them a little bit to get the power back on, we should still be fine. And I checked the meat, sure enough, it still froze solid, not even missed a lick. So now I'm going to show you the actual machine and a few of the features on it, and then we're going to take you out to the farm and show you some other ways that we plan to use this Jackery. Okay, so I mentioned that this works as a UPS, which for those of y'all that don't know, that means uninterruptible power supply, which means if you have something plugged into this and this plugged into the wall, if you lose power at the wall, your devices will actually never lose power because they'll automatically switch over in less than 10 milliseconds, which is a very short amount of time. This power supply is designed for households of 3 to 6 people, offering 3,600 watts of power and a capacity of 3,584 watt hours, which means it can handle a lot of stuff or stuff with heavy loads and can last for a pretty good amount of time. And if you need even more capacity, it's expandable up to 21 kilowatt hours, which means you can make stuff last for a very long time. Now I'm going to show you some of the features of this actual power supply. The Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus features a 30 amp RV type port. It has 420 watt AC ports, 2 USB-C 100 watt max ports, and 2 USB-A 18 watt max ports. Now let me show you how the LCD screen works. You hit the power button, turns on the screen. You'll see the input's 0 watts right now because our battery's at 100% capacity and our output's 0. You may be wondering, why is the output 0? Because we have something plugged in. Well, you have to actually turn on the AC button for it to supply power to these ports. We'll give it a minute to kick up. You can see the output wattage is going up, and it shows right now that it'll last 99.9 hours, but I think that's just the max time it shows on there because it will last a lot longer than that as this battery goes down. The other great thing about this is it has flexible charging. It has multiple different ways you can charge. The flexible charging, you can use AC, which is the cord that's plugged in here. It has DC, which would be the solar panels. You can use AC and DC, and you can also use a gas generator to charge it. So for a couple hours of gas, you can actually have a unit that would last several hours after that. So it'd save on fossil fuels, and it's a lot cleaner for the environment. It also features wheels on the bottom and a handle that extends so that you can pull it, and has two carrying handles right here to make it ultra portable. Using next-gen heat-resistant ceramic battery cells, the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus has an ultra-low self-discharge, losing only 5% per year on a single charge, and offers over 6,000 charging cycles and 10 years of durability. The batteries retain 70% capacity at 10 years. This power supply combines power, safety, and portability in one complete home backup package. Now we're going to pack this up, take you out to the farm, and show you some other cool ways that we plan on using this battery power supply, because it has a lot of features that we plan to put to good use. Okay, so you can see the portability of this thing because it rolled over that rough terrain like nothing. So now we're going to show you how we use this on the farm, because some people may not realize all the uses they can use this for. So for us, many of y'all who've been with us know that we have been working on a fence, and there's sometimes that you need to cut a lot of boards and stuff, and it's hard to stretch out a lot of extension cords, or you may just not have enough to get there. So we're going to use this to not only run our saw here, we're also going to charge some batteries for our battery power tools. So I'm fixing to get it set up. I'm going to show you how the solar panels work and explain that too. Okay, so these are the solar panels. They come in a nice little carrying case, so you can keep them put up and nice and neat when you're not using them. But what we like to do is, if we're going to be out here working for a while, we'll set up the solar panels and leave them hooked up to this while we're using it. That way it'll constantly be getting a charge while using it. It'll make it last even longer. So they're pretty easy to lay out. They just kind of make an M pattern, and we're going to probably just kind of stand them up because the sun's starting to go down some. So we're just going to kind of stand them up like this, because we found that it actually works a little bit better whenever the sun's at this angle. We've got them. They also have some stakes you can put in to help stabilize them if you need for real windy conditions. I think we're going to be fine like it is now. And they're also waterproof and wind resistant, because like I said, we've got some wind today and they're holding up pretty well. So this just plugs into the side, and our battery should still be 100%, but we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Shows the battery's 100%. We're going to turn on the AC because that's the plug we're going to be using. We're going to plug our saw in over here. I'm going to go ahead and plug these battery chargers in too, because we've got a lot of stuff we're going to be doing on this fence, and we will need tools as well. Okay. Those both have lights going and they're charging. So like you can see, we've got an output of 81 watts. So it's got both these chargers going. Once we use the saw, it's going to go up substantially. We have zero input because we're still at 100%. So as we start to use this down, we should see what the solar panels are actually doing to keep this charged. Okay, so our cuts for this project are kind of few and far between. So for demonstration purposes, I've got a board here. I'm just going to make several cuts so that we can show you the screen and show you like power usage it's doing, and then see if we can get it to drop below 100% so you can see the input on the charging as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a cut, move the board over, and just make a bunch of cuts on this old scrap piece of board. But the main thing you can see is this delivers enough power to actually run this saw as well as charge those batteries at the same time. And you're fixing to get to see the numbers change on the screen as I use this to have an idea exactly how much power it's actually using. Okay, well, I end up having to unplug the solar panels because I guess they were keeping it fully charged, and the lowest we got was the 99, and that's after several minutes of trying to get it to go lower. So we're going to plug it in and see if we can see what the input is now with the solar panels. Okay, yeah, you can see the solar panel input's 245, and the thing is, you can adjust them and get a little bit more out of them depending on how your sun's facing. So I'm going to adjust these a little bit and see if the numbers go up. Okay, I had some of the panels that weren't facing quite toward the sun, so now you can see after we got them a better placement how much it went up. I mean, it went up what, about 80. So quite a bit, just depending on the placement you do with your actual solar panels. But the thing about it, with the solar panels running and us using this, what we're going to need, it should be able to keep up and keep this thing 100% pretty much the whole time we use it. So as you can see, when you pair up the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus with the 500X solar panels, you can pretty much keep working all day long, especially if you're doing farm work like this. Another great thing is whenever we start incubating eggs again and storm season hits, I guarantee you we're going to be utilizing this to make sure our incubators don't go down during that time. The other great thing is this unit qualifies for up to a 30% federal battery tax credit, so it's even more ways to save. And Jackery offers a 3-year standard warranty, and you can actually get a 2-year extension on that if you register it with them on their website. So make sure you do that and you get 5 years of warranty on this machine. Also, Jackery's doing a giveaway. They teamed up with the Mavs and they're giving away 4 VIP suite tickets to a Mavs game. Covers airfare and hotel. All you got to do to enter is share your Jackery story, tag @Jackery, and use the hashtags we placed on the screen. So lots of good luck with that. We really appreciate Jackery sponsoring this video, and we'll catch you next time on Grounds Family Farm. Bye.